So, hello and welcome. So, me and LinkZer, we're gonna do a kind of quick video. Maybe it won't be that quick, but first we're just gonna explore the world records rankings from April 2002 until the founding of the Crash Team Racing Forever website in 2005 April. Um,
Actually,
so yeah,
that's right. I'm LinkZer. I will be helping you right there
yeah,
with this.
yeah. So we actually have to restart the video because of some technical problems, but we're gonna start right from the beginning again. And here is April 2002. These are the best known records for Arsène Lupin at the time and for us as well. And basically, yeah, these two guys, Arsène Lupin and Bowie, hold all the world records. And this is basically where it starts, actually in May 2002, with people actually starting to compete. And these were posted to the Video forum. It's a French forum for video games, as far as I've understood. I've understood.
Yeah, this is where the these French players started the threads, posting their records, showing their improvements, and also were the first pro guys of CTR was posted too,
Yeah,
with the early pro techniques.
yeah. So these techniques were mostly found by these three guys. So you have Arsène Lupin here, who has 19 world records at the time in May 2002. Jin and Kang. And these three guys would be the most dominant figures of the early days, and also very legendary players in their own right, and even today are highly regarded in the community. But there were some other guys too, like we, as mentioned, and Jobus, who would later show up a bit, as LinkZer said. And yeah, so
Yeah, Joe. Uh, I really didn't knew he was a Gen Zero player. When I was active back in 2006, 2007, he kind of showed up for a bit,
yeah,
and that's when I noticed him.
so these guys are pretty much all of the world records until the launch of the world record site are made by French players. So unless we mention something else, assume that the player is French, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
The
have
only one would be CTF, which will later show up to be
and
the
Skandu.
best player of his generation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So here already we see. So right around this time, Jin would show up and just dominate. Like he would play a lot and just get all the world records pretty much. And you have some other guys who show up as well, like Ginny, and I don't think he has any other world records ever. But by July 2002, Jin peaks at 36 world records out of 36, and at the end of the month he still has 35, as you can see here. One of them beaten by Ben213, who's another one of these players who kind of show up and get some world records and kind of vanish. And
yes, Engine was the man behind the famous legend of 36 world records,
yeah,
and he was the discoverer of Sapphire and Ultraturn. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, there's two theories on U-turn, but either Cyengin or Jeremy One found it, but they were both pretty closely involved, so it could be either of them really.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, and his reign would kind of continue for a while here. But by now we see Kang show up, and Kang is. It's really hard to say who was the strongest player of the early days. Some say Kang and some say Arsène Lupin. Like personally, I would say Arsène Lupin had the strongest individual records, but Kang was a better overall player.
Well, Kang was more like an explosion, and Arsenal Lupin was the a consistent player.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I would describe them in that way.
Yeah. But nonetheless, like Cyanogen, pretty much after he reaches his peak of getting all the world records, he kind of just quits. I guess once you've got everything, you don't really care about getting anything more. Uh, but obviously, it's the very early days, so getting a world record also wasn't as too difficult as it would be today. The,
Yeah, totally.
somebody like
You're totally right.
somebody like Justin Zimmerman has played every track today has played every track more than these guys have played the entire game, most likely.
And
So,
I'm sure about that.
hmm?
Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Yeah,
Justin, what you say about Justin?
yeah, and Justin isn't even a guy who like he's a strategic guy. You know, he learns a tech and tries to improve using new techniques. So he's not even the guy who probably has played the most, although probably has played a ton. So yeah. Um, so Kang is beginning his rise here. Ben is still kind of hanging out there. And here we see Kang in October 2002. He becomes the rank 1 player for the first time. And Kang discovered how to properly utilize speed ghosts and frogging. So I think he discovered this in roost tubes and really just began abusing it all over the place. And this is also around the time when uh, Arsène Lupin had discovered that like they already were using Sacred Fire, but they kind of understood how it worked more in like properly, like the whole reserve thing. You know, you can keep a turbo going for a very long time if you have made a lot of turbos, and they really started abusing that, like where to do turbos and where to just go straight, and like optimizing these kind of things that might sound basic today, but when you're the first person to figure that out and the internet is 2002, it's kind of you just have to figure it out yourself.
So Kang will be the chosen one of the Gen Zero, the Zero Gen, the Generation Zero. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Kang here, 17 world records to Cyanogen's 11 and Arsène Lupin's 7, and he stays there. He stays there up at first place for a while. Cyanogen kind of trying to climb back, but Kang is clearly asserting his dominance and eventually peaks here at
Yeah,
30. Yeah,
exactly.
30 world records. J007 getting a world record there in the middle, but yeah. And this is the one of the most dominant performances ever of the game as well. Only really beaten by Cyanogen himself. Yeah.
Oh, imagine those times. Man.
Yeah, I mean, if I could go have a time machine, I could just go there and like I could if I would go back in time and show them how to play like we play nowadays. And if I would
Oh,
come back,
imagine,
when I
imagine
would
the
come back,
replacement.
yeah, when I would come back, like I would not even be in top 200 because if they had known, oh god, yeah, and yeah, Arsène Lupin and Kang just kind of take the rankings to themselves here, and and really just became dominant again. So they have all the world records now, and this continues for a while until in November 2003, a curious Belgian player arrives.
Wow, who would it be?
Who would it be? Yeah. um, I've understood that he's a French Belgian. Like he speaks French, which would explain how he discovers these techniques so early.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. and and it's a really cool thing he shows up because while nobody at the time would know it, yeah, he would end up being the most incredible player of all time in some regards.
Yeah, one of my favorite players, to be honest.
Yeah,
I really
definite,
like his play style.
definitely aside from the Gen Zero players, he's the most influential player ever.
Yeah, exactly. The most influential, one of the most influential players in CTR history.
Yeah.
You can be sure about that.
So this situation would stay there, Arsene would get one world record here, but mostly it would stay unchanged for a few months, almost more than half a year, really. And finally, Skandu comes here. Skandu, he's Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm I can bet that that world record is in Oxford Station
Uh huh.
because he was the discoverer of the shortcut, the famous shortcut at Oxford Station.
But this cannot be with the shortcut yet, because the standards were made without the shortcut. So this is 2004 June. So the
All
standards
right.
would definitely include the shortcut had he found it this early.
Okay, one thing I remember in CTR network forum was the people like Stelsig and Thomas 16 discussing about this guy's Scandon Hermano uh, getting getting incredible times at Oxide Station, and they at first thought they were cheaters.
Right. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was an Oxide station because Kang had the world record there for a really long time. He had God there without the shortcut.
All right.
Yeah, but again, this situation would continue for a while, for a long while actually,
Maybe
until you see
maybe it was
Arsene
Bingo Cannon.
Arsene taking his rank one back.
Oh yeah,
Um,
February 2005. Okay, this maybe. Okay, okay. Let's keep on.
and this is um, right around the time. So I think what he wanted to do, this is my guess. Obviously, he has never said this himself, but I think he was already working on the website. So he wanted to be rank one when the website came out.
Maybe, and I think Kang was already retiring at that year.
Yeah. So here we have Thomas show up. So Thomas is probably the last player who shows up before the website is made, who's really doing any damage. And Thomas is
All
an
right.
English player who especially is known for developing the tech for Tiny Arena. First person to go sub 3 minutes, if I remember correctly. And
Yeah, he was
and then we go to
very important.
April. These were the April 2005. So when the Crash CTR Forever website was released, this would be the world record count ranking at the end of that month, with our first Italian player as well, with Italian 21.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's Crash Cove world record. I don't think this was even a god time yet. Most of these
The
world
Italian
records are not god times.
uh, that world record from Italian 21 was in Crash Cup.
Sorry, I can't hear you properly. Can you speak a bit closer to the
Uh,
microphone?
I'm sorry. Okay, I was saying that that world record from Italian 21 was at Crash Cup.
Yeah, because that's his only
Oh,
world record.
oh, that's that's very curious because in Nitro Fuel he did the same.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He wanted to repeat it.
That's
Yeah,
great. That's a
yeah.
great coincidence. Okay.
No, it's not a coincidence. It's intentional. Had he got a world record on Ruse Tubes, he would have played Ruse Tubes, you know? Yeah, if you read Cloaca when he got the world record, he actually posted "History repeats itself," uh, or something along those lines. But yeah, these were and these also kind of mimic how the average Finnish rankings were at the time as well, like with Kang on top and Arsene Lupin right behind, and probably Crash Team Faking was third already. But yeah, we're gonna end this first episode here because LinkZer is busy.
All right, we still not getting to the time where I show up
Yeah, no, that's
in late 2005.
yeah, but
When I remember when I show up, I was seeing Arsenal Lopin at first, I think, and then Kang beat him.
right, okay,
Well, we will see that the next in the next video.
yeah. All right, thanks for watching.